Hey there, dirt bike people. I'm Chuck from TrueTech, and today I'm going to be assembling the bottom end on a 2014 YZ450F. This is what I've got going on here so far. This is what it looks like when I do every bottom end. You can see that my bench is cleared off, and I only have stuff on the bench that has to do with the engine that I'm working on. This is like a fail-safe that I do for myself so that once these parts are gone, I know that this job is done and I don't have to revisit it. This has to do with how I disassemble it. You can see that this is the right-hand side over here. This is the clutch side. Everything from there is in that bin. This is the left side. I also have a top end bin that is over there somewhere. The first thing that I need to do is I need to swap out these crank bearings. There are a few different ways that I could go about it. Basically, I don't want to stress the cases by smashing the old ones out and pounding the new ones in. I'm going to use heat, drop the old ones out, and drop the new ones in. I'm going to heat the case to around 200 Fahrenheit. I want to avoid 300 Fahrenheit because that's the temperature at which bearings start to get damaged. It's actually a little hotter than that, but 200 is fine. They should drop out and drop in with no extra pressure required. So first I need to remove these retainers and these bolts from the crankcase to remove the bearings. Oftentimes they have Loctite. These little retainers have a taper inside of them, so these bolts can be very tight and usually my impact can't remove them. So I'm going to start with the ratchet and then finish them off with the impact. Now I'm just going to use my propane torch and heat it up because that's the fastest way that I have to do it. Now notice that that bearing there has some rubber material in it. I'm going to stay away from that with the flame and get all around in here. I'm going to put the heat in there as evenly as possible. So we are 4 minutes into heating this. We are getting there. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Just for fun, what we're at. Yeah, over here it seems to be hotter. Sometimes the bearing falls out, but at this temperature, there's no tension left there. Oh, one of these other ones fell out too. No problem. Obviously that goes there. Wipe out this hole a little bit. No need for any extra contamination in there. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit here. Okay, we are up to temp. Whoa, just barely hot enough. Now I'm gonna put these retainers back in right away because sometimes what happens when you sweat a bearing in like that, as the case starts to cool, it'll pull it out just a little bit. So I'm just going to prevent that from happening. Now that little detent there, we've got this little homemade drift. Now many of you will have heard this before. I did not torque those bolts. I know my impact really well. If you don't know your impact very well, torque the bolts. Also, the point is that I used red Loctite, and these are not super critical because they have that little detent that keeps them in place anyway. So what exactly the torque is, I don't care. Now this bearing can go back in there and it should go this way so that it gets oil from the transmission side. Now we will just put that aside because it's hot. I'm going to repeat that process here. You don't need to see it a second time. I want to take a second here to let you guys know about my TrueTech community. If you guys like this type of content, there is tons more of it on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, a lot more day-to-day shorts type stuff. My TrueTech community has a tire change course, 6 parts, extremely in-depth. I'm working on a suspension course, and after that, I think I am going to try and do an electrical course. So if you're interested in that, join my TrueTech community. There's also other experts on there. Man, we've been doing lots of cool problem solving. I've also added a whole bunch of repair manuals. If you want KTM manuals for free, go on there. I've got links to them. If you're into a small, more tight-knit community of high quality and less quantity help and direct one-on-one stuff, TrueTech community is for you. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but this is the most difficult and the most time-sensitive part of the whole job. If you get your timing right, it's easy. If you get your timing off, things can get very complicated. What I'm going to do now is heat the inner race with a heat gun because I don't want to flame on this bearing, but I need the bearing to get up over 150 Fahrenheit so that the crank slips in. This is an interference fit. You've all heard me talk about that if you're familiar with my stuff. And I need this crank to go into the right side bearing and seat all the way down so that it's all the way to the right side of the engine. So I've swapped this bearing, that's the new one. I've got it half heated up. Before I forget, which is easy to do on these YZFs, I'm just going to drop that counterbalancer in there. I'm going to go a little more. All right, that is definitely hot enough. I'm going to take my new crank, drop it in the hole. That is exactly what should happen. I know it's all the way down. Just a side note, I did check the runout on this crank and it is about half a thou. This is a brand new Hot Rods crank. I have never had a premature failure with the Hot Rods component. I do understand why people are nervous about it. Hot Rods is owned by the All Balls group and the quality on many of their components is certainly questionable. In this case, I'm certainly confident in this product. Now at this point, things are going to start to go pretty quickly. I've got the transmission here. I know that this is the clutch side. They go like this. Lift this up a little bit more. Drop it all in there like that. Now I've got my shift forks like this. I always keep them loaded on the shafts like this. If you forget, it's pretty hard to screw it up because the smaller one is smaller and you can't put it in the wrong spot. And on these two, you'll see one says left and one says right. So I'm going to put that one in there. Obviously the pins have to go to the shift drum. A little bit of common sense and transmissions get very simple. Now the shift drum, the neutral sensor is in the left-hand case half, which is over there. So that's this. This side mates with the star wheel on the other side, so that just drops in. Now I'm gonna put these shift forks into their grooves. This also is very straightforward because this right-hand side one goes in the bottom groove, this one goes in the top groove, this one goes in the middle groove. It's all very intuitive. And put those in, and now it should spin. If you want, you can shift the transmission through the gears at this point. I usually don't because it's very clunky. I am going to change this O-ring before I assemble this. So I've got the new one here in the kit. And I'm going to put a little bit of motor oil on it just so that it doesn't cause my case to hang up. This could go in there. I'm actually going to leave it out because it's easy to install after. Now this is a glued case, so I'm going to put my glue on here. This is Loctite 5910 that I'm using. Yamaha has their own product called YamaBond. It's also very good. There's also another product called 3Bond that's excellent. 5910 is used by KTM and BRP. You want enough on here that it's going to squeeze out just a little bit, but you don't want it to goop all over the place. It's very common to find little pieces of silicone in the oil pickup when I disassemble engines. I'd rather not have that happen, although the oil pickup can handle it. It's not going to block anything. Now I'm just going to go around and flatten it with my finger. Now in this case I've put a little bit extra on because I want to do it all in the right hand case half because the left side is hot and time is of the essence. I've put it on relatively thick so I still get my little bit of squeeze out there and to make sure that I have all of these mating surfaces coated so I have even pressure everywhere. I've tried using things like brushes and scrapers and whatnot for this, but ultimately my finger always ends up working the best. This here is an oil gallery. You don't want to forget that. Now what I'm going to do is get this case half back over here. I'm going to get this bearing hot again. It's still quite warm because I haven't taken very long to do this, but this bearing is interference fit on that crankshaft and I want it to slide together so that I don't have to pull it together if at all possible. While I'm doing this, I'm going to put in my dowel pins. I want it right up close to 200. All right, my inner race is at 200. The critical part. Line up all your shafts. I've made sure that my bench is empty at this point. Whoa, sorry. Something is catching. There we go. This needs to happen quick. There we go. I'm all the way down. Now what's happening is that this inner race is shrinking and it's exchanging heat with the cold crankshaft and it is locking itself onto that crank and I actually want that. I'm going to take my bolts. Now this bearing, it grabs onto that shaft pretty quickly, quicker than I can tighten all these bolts. So the bearing has grabbed the shaft and now I'm pulling the cases together another few thousandths of an inch. So there's probably going to be a little bit of tension between those two bearings. And that's why I drop the crank into the right hand side. The crank is all the way down and now I drop the left hand case on. Now I squeeze it together. The inner races, this one and the other side, are being pushed apart. As long as they're being pushed apart, I can tap them in a little bit. If I had dropped the crank into the left side case first, Now I would have dropped it together, having this being pulled in a little bit, and that's very difficult to rectify. Now, I don't torque M6 bolts because it's very difficult to do it accurately enough. I tighten them all by hand. I think it's actually dangerous to torque them. Now let's see if we have any tension on the crankshaft. We most likely will. It is not bad, actually. It is turning very nicely. That's good. I am not going to mess with that. What I am going to do, though, is install my primary gear here, and I'm going to tighten this nut so that I pull the crank over if it isn't over all the way already, and then I'm going to check that tension again. There's a little dot here. I'm going to line that up. There we go. This is a conical washer. It's cone shaped, cone pointing up. I'm going to make sure that this is dry. I'm going to wipe it. I'm going to put a little bit of red Loctite in there. Not much, just a little. That conical washer should actually do the job. Now I'm going to hold on to the connecting rod here. Tighten that up with my impact. Again, if you don't know your impact very well, don't do it that way. I'll show you how to do it. Because the crank was all the way dropped on that side already, there was no tension. We got easy movement here. That's what I like to see. In case you don't know your impact as well as I do, oh, don't cut yourself. I just cut myself on the case. I'll put this gear on and you can torque both of these nuts like this. Jeez. Okay, now I have this dot over here and it's going to line up with this dot. Jeez, that's annoying. There we go. I don't know what the lubricity characteristics of blood are, but I don't need to find out. There is a smaller spline. It's right there. I can see it. There we go. So you got to mate the small splines up here and then mate those two dots together. And then this tab washer goes over there and the little tang goes in the hole there. No need for Loctite on a fastener that has a tab washer. Now what you would do if you wanted to torque these is just take a piece of aluminum or copper and stick it in between those gear teeth, and then you can go ahead and torque that. And then for this one, you'd put it over here, you can torque that. Easy stuff. What I'm gonna do is again, grab my crankshaft, fold up one of my tabs, very easy, done. Part of doing a case job is making sure that the transmission shifts. You don't want to find that out when you go and test ride your bike. So I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on this. This is the star wheel and the bolt. Very simple. This is the most common shifting issue that I encounter. So what happens typically right after a rebuild is the bike stops shifting. It's usually just this bolt has come loose. So there's that pin there. It lines up with this little hole. If it doesn't, it won't shift right. I'm going to tighten this. I don't like to tighten it with an impact because what it's tightening against ultimately is the shift forks. And I don't like to stress the shift forks that much. So I do that by hand. Now the bike is in gear. I'm going to start in neutral. Make sure neutral is working, which it is. This one spins, that one doesn't. Now I'm going to shift. That's working. Now we're in first gear. I'm going to shift to second. It's very common for it to be a little bit clunky like that it doesn't want to shift all the way. So we're in third, fourth. See here, it's done it again. It's kind of hanging up a little bit. Grab this one, spin this one, and it'll drop in. So now we'll go, it's fifth gear. This is a 5-speed tranny. Fourth, third, second, neutral. And that's where I like to leave it. All right, now here is my bench after I wipe the blood and stuff off of it. So this is actually for the left side. And I'm gonna just take this, put it in my left side bin. Gaskets and seals and stuff over there, no problem. I don't need those yet. That's just my shutter clicker thing. That's for making content. It's very handy. This is the first thing that I'm going to install when I do the right side video, or the clutch side. So I'll put that out next week. I'm about to start filming it. This is the oil drain plug. I'll put that in a minute. This also should go in the left side. So I have no unidentified parts on my bench, and I am now ready to do the right hand side because there is nothing left and I know that I've forgotten nothing. So if you guys like this video and you want more of them, you know what to do. Next week, I'll upload the right side or the clutch side video. Thanks a lot for watching.